Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ plus story for today. I'm Edward Otto-Zelke, and let's queer up entertainment. JoJo Siwa claps back at bi-erasure after Miley Cyrus joke. JoJo Siwa is speaking out after a controversial joke by Miley Cyrus sparked backlash and renewed conversations around the bi-erasure in the LGBTQ plus community. The drama began when Cyrus, who is pansexual, made a quip in a Dreamland Pride promo video, saying she was, quote, going back into the closet to find JoJo Siwa and bring her back out, end quote. Siwa, who recently confirmed her relationship with celebrity Big Brother co-star Chris Hughes, was quick to respond. Many fans accused Cyrus, 32, of engaging in bi-erasure, a form of biphobia, where a person's bisexuality or pansexuality is invalidated, especially when they're in the opposite sex relationships. Siwa took to Instagram to address the joke, saying, quote, "This joke was not what the world or myself needed to hear any day of the week," end quote. She also emphasized that she didn't believe Cyrus was ill-intended. However, the joke was just not very good. Siwa added that she messaged Cyrus lightheartedly, and Miley replied, "All love, always." Siwa, a longtime fan of Cyrus, said, quote, "Honestly, the most beautiful thing I've learned in the last 5 years is that love is a gorgeous rainbow. Don't question yourself. Don't second guess yourself. Just love," end quote. This isn't the first case of bi-erasure to make headlines for Pride Month. Billie Eilish was recently targeted after being photographed kissing actor Nat Wolff. The incident reignited harmful assumptions about the LGBTQ plus identity and who gets to be queer enough. Once again, the queer community is reminded love is not limited to who you're seen with, it's who you are. Well, this is a good lesson, I think, for anybody. You just can't judge a book by its cover, right. And love is love. That's right. But, as I've learned and has evolved, the LGBTQ plus spectrum is very gray. And there's so many different levels. And, you can't just presume that someone's one sexuality or somebody's this. You have to meet them at face value and get to know them. So, when you have celebrities commenting on other people's, relationships, you have to think to yourself, are you using your platform for good, or is this about, promoting something at this point? But, they see the error of their ways. I think they're young enough that they can kind of just skirt and get this over with. So,
I think JoJo's like 21, right? Like she's young, 19, something like that. She's young. But but Miley Cyrus is like in her 30s, right? Something like that. Miley Cyrus wasn't the only one who said this joke. Everybody has been saying this joke, okay? And it's sort of funny. And in our community, we make fun of each other, right? That's kind of how we do. And we learn early on to have a thick skin because people outside of our community make fun of us. People inside of our community make fun of us, right? We get a thick skin about it. So, this story gets me because, yes, I'm a lesbian. I'm married to a woman, right? I'm in love with my wife. I'm more in love with her every single day. But I dated men. I don't hate men. And it's very hard to explain to men when they go, "Oh, yeah, don't worry, Faye don't want anything to do with that." I don't take the time to explain because why, right? But by looking at someone you don't know what they are. So you're just saying that she's with Chris Hughes right now and he's making her have a great time.
Right.
She's 10. She's going to have 15 more relationships in the next 2 years.
Right.
And they'll be with anything that she wants because she's pan. Being pan means you like it all. You're open to go out with someone queer, trans, bi, anything it is. So the guy was just the next one up on the list.
I think this story really highlights a problem that I always have found in this community, and that's the judgment factor. And the judgment factor, because this community is supposed to stand for liberation. And liberation means it's supposed to stand for do whatever the heck you want to do. Like, child, who cares who you're with? I've been with a trans person. I've been with a drag queen. I've been with, and people are like, "How Jamal, you dated, girl, get out my business. Mind your business. Like, get out my business." It was a joke. It was a joke. And it's kind of like we're caught up so much in this identity politics when it comes down to who you're seen with, who you talk, top, bottom, verse. Like there's so many different labels and things when we're supposed to be the representation of the love, the rainbow, which equals liberation, which means go out and live your life and your authentic truth for what it shines for and not what other people perceive it as.
Jamal, you are preaching today, baby. You are preaching.
Yeah.
Okay,
buddy.
so being the old man at the table, I'm going to play in the middle here. It was a bad joke, poorly made, we all chuckled, whatever. Gave them a moment of TV coverage. They made up, apparently, in 15 minutes after the joke was said. But we're making a story out of this. I remember at 15 years old coming out. I remember not having any options. Look at the options we have. We have the whole table to sit at. You can be anything you want on this table as long as it's within 2 consenting adults. That's something to celebrate. So let's be realistic to the people that are coming out or can't, and have them see these stupid ass stories where people are bitching and moaning over a bad joke. You know, I'm not worried about us. We're intelligent people here. But I'm thinking about that 12-year-old, 14-year-old kid who's struggling trying to figure out who the hell they are.
Yeah.
And they see 2 people that are supposed to be celebrities and supposed to have this influence bitching and moaning over something as stupid as who you're kissing today.
And they're trying to go to school and learn.
Right.
You know what I mean? Something very simple.
You know, and it's a kiss. It's nothing to be making light of. These kind of stories bother me just because there's a double-edged sword there. And we make fun of that double-edged sword. But I keep thinking of the generations that are coming behind. So I you know, yes, it's cute and funny to a certain degree, but I also remember how it could also be a double-edged sword, because I want kids to be alive.
I think the lesson here, I agree, and I think the lesson here is that we're ever evolving as humans, you know, and that the acceptance of that is just, you know, you can be one thing at one point in your life, and then 5 years later you can be something totally different.
We're allowed to learn and evolve.
Exactly.
And we're allowed to make those mistakes, and we're allowed
to sleep with whoever the hell we want to sleep with.
I mean, a lot of us were straight for a second, right? And then we were like, wait a minute, you know what I mean? And like nobody's like gay. Oh wait, no, you were straight for that second. You can't be gay. I mean,
that's my point. In this world of reality TV, where every little comment bites, it's important. So to any young person out there, even if you're older in your 50s, still trying to figure out who the hell you are, you know, thinking that you're coming out late in life, talk to people. Don't take this too serious. It's reality TV on a bad platform. You know?
And that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.